So after months and months and months of annoying and irritation of having to wait for 30 seconds before driving the car, the alternator has finally kicked the bucket. Sad times. But today in this video we are going to get it sorted out properly. Starting with the alternator itself, this is how it came out of the car. Basically not really. I cleaned it up and I painted it just to make sure it doesn't catch rust or start corroding or anything. So yeah, I'm not too bothered about the inner part of it because it'll still work. I did tape up the pulley and I did tape up the back ends of the connecting points. The regulator I have separately, which I already stripped, which is the actual cause of the problem. It is easier sometimes to find a complete alternator, whether you have to find it used or brand new, entirely up to you. But if you want to replace just the regulator, you can get it, but the part itself is quite scarce to find locally. So that's the dilemma I am at the moment. Going into the engine bay, to remove the alternator, you'll need to remove the tensioner as well as the idle pulley, which mounts into this area here. I'll show you what bolt goes through. So you can see in this part here, the long 16mm bolt goes through and through, as well as on the top here, there's another 16mm which is here. And I'll show you which these bolts look like and how it works. Starting off with the tools, and this is how it looks basically. This bolt goes at the bottom of the alternator. Then you have this bolt which fits at the top of the alternator. This is your idle pulley, which I've shown you guys in previous videos. This fits basically into this hole, so it takes thread like so. So this goes into that bolt. For the tensioner itself, T55 goes in here. Use a breaker bar and you take the tension off. That's how you get the belt off. Then to remove the actual tensioner itself, which is a T47, and once that's out, you get that out. First you remove the idle pulley, which is a 6mm Allen key or hex bolt if you have it. Thereafter you'll remove the belt, the tensioner itself. But first you'll remove the tension, so you'll remove the tension first with the T55. Thereafter you remove the idle pulley, which is the 6mm Allen key, and then you use the T47 and then you remove the tensioner. It only goes in one way, it only fits one way itself, so it doesn't really matter. To remove the bolt, it's a 16mm socket. You can either use a normal socket or a deep well socket like what I have here. They are quite tight, so if you need extra force, you can use a breaker bar or an impact gun, whichever works for you. Which now brings me to the annoying part. You can get regulators for the Bosch units. However, for the VALEO units, which is what the alternator is on my car, it's quite difficult to find it locally. You have to either source it out, either import it, or really have to dig deep to find it. So this is a 150 amp regulator, 14 volts, so that's the rated charging. There's the part number here. This is the original BMW unit. However, like I did mention in previous videos, that this alternator was rebuilt, so we replaced this brush kit. So most likely this is gone bad, but if I'm going to do it, I'd rather just do everything all at once. So you have this section here which connects to the actual alternator itself. Then you got the brush kit, which one brush is missing, it's broken off. That's where I am at this point in time, where you get all of the bolts and everything for it. This is a 13mm that fits onto the starter wires and stuff like that. Then you got all these that mount everything to the actual alternator itself. So yeah, until I get a replacement unit like this, I will put that in the next segment. But I just want to bring you guys so you can see exactly what I mean right now. And yeah. Finally, with all the mechanical parts taken care of, I can now get into the electrical part of it by replacing the battery, which you've seen already, and now registering the battery. I've mentioned this in the previous video where I replaced the battery. I'm going to do the registration once I have the alternator repaired. So now that's exactly what we're going to do. For this, I'm going to be using the Launch X431. This is our pro tool. Comparing to Beamer tool and Kali and stuff like that, I say that this is a higher grade and much more on the professional side compared to the regular diagnostic tools that you can buy online. This is designed for workshop based operations, which is exactly what we have. So this has facilities to take care of any vehicle. There will be a link in the description if you can check, if you want to check it out. But if not, they do make a consumer grade where there's just a basic code reader. That I'll talk in another video. But let's get into the proper part of this now. That's registering the battery, and I'll show you guys how to do it. Starting with the Bluetooth receiver that the diagnostic tool comes with. This plugs into the car's OBD port, and then you move over to the tablet, which then connects to the car. So how this is going to do it, I'm going to go into local diagnose. Once I go into local diagnose, I'm going to go into BMW. Then you're going to go into special functions. Once it reads the vehicle, it's going to go into processing, so then it gives you a whole range of things that you can choose from. It'll go through almost every single module that the car is equipped with to make sure there's no issues. Okay, so once that's done, we're going to go into body, and we're going to go into register battery exchange. So once that processes, you'll have access to the battery exchange feature. So then what we're going to do is we're going to go into F2 to register battery exchange. You follow the steps. Current battery is registered as an 80 amp hour. So the battery that we're going to be installing is the same capacity, 80 amp hours. So basically all we're going to do is going to enter battery exchange of the same capacity. So we're going to press F1. Original BMW part, yes. So battery exchange is entered. It's been done. The following is now entered. The DME last battery exchange was 243,000 kilometers. Second, third, fourth. So basically it's the first battery exchange that has ever been done. So we're gonna click continue. Date and time will be set according to the diagnostic tool. So that will be continued. Press continue. Service function is completed. So the registration is now done. We can exit the system. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start the car, and I'm going to want you to keep an eye out on this little voltage meter here. But to actually monitor it properly, I'm going to go into the data stream and I'm going to monitor battery voltage. Currently it's 11.2, and watch as it picks up charge. So that little dead spot is what I used to experience before, but it's nowhere near what it used to be. Before, it used to come up to here and then start charging up. So that's it, guys. After months and months, actually years of having to wait for the alternator to start charging, and eventually it's packing up. It is finally done. It's finally sorted out to where I don't have to worry about it anymore. That little dead spot between startup and charging, that's not as much to worry because that is how the computer actually operates, I've been told. So I'm not really too concerned about that. The whole process was fairly simple, and I'm happy it's actually done now properly. So I know it shouldn't give any problems. Currently the battery charges at 14 volts as it should be. I'm just going to monitor it like this and make sure everything's fine. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. If this video you found informative, please do give it a like and everything else like that. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hope to see you soon.